The city of Pittsburgh has made significant progress in their efforts towards sustainability in recent years, and can truly be seen as the definition of resilience. The progress made in the city's planning over the past several decades is remarkable. Sustainable urban planning is about balancing the natural and untouched landscape with the human-made infrastructure cities are known to be comprised of. That is, the roads, buildings, and bridges thousands of people traverse each day. The question then is, what does this balance look like for Pittsburgh, and how can it be achieved for every neighborhood in the city? Across the city, there is a significant issue of equity in terms of what neighborhoods have sustainable landscapes and which critically lack it. Neighborhoods with lower income and higher minority populations have less natural landscapes. This is a major concern when it comes to the urban heat island effect, which is caused by replacing natural landscapes with infrastructure that is heat absorbing. When the sun's rays directly hit these surfaces, the absorbed heat causes the area's air temperature to increase. The increased air temperatures put certain age groups at risk of heat-related illnesses, and climate change will more easily ravage through these communities as heat waves become more frequent and intense. However, when streets are lined with trees, the shade provided decreases the heat absorption, which lowers the overall air temperature. Street trees and the shade they provide are crucially important to decrease the urban heat island effect. In the same way, if regions with high amount of infrastructure were to have green spaces nearby, there would be a further cooling effect from the trees and grass that are less heat absorbent. Pittsburgh's Shade Tree Commission works towards planting, preserving, and protecting trees and green spaces in the city. It is through their work that efforts are being made to minimize the urban heat island effect in Pittsburgh. Within the last year, the Shade Tree Commission has begun the Equitable Street Tree Investment Strategy. This strategy is designed to identify the low-income, high-minority, and low tree-canopied neighborhoods in Pittsburgh that the Commission can begin increasing street tree numbers in.
A number of the areas which came out of our study are actually small neighborhoods that have been historically disinvested because they don't get the same type of publicity that a larger, more economically depressed area does. But these are still neighborhoods with high poverty rates, high minority populations, almost no street trees, very little overall investment. They just happen to be kind of on the edge of the areas that were developed. They get forgotten.
The study done through the Shade Tree Commission considered the following factors and ranked all of the neighborhoods in the city in terms of their statistics of these parameters. A matrix was then produced to be able to list the neighborhoods in greatest need by applying more weight to certain factors than others.
In the beginning, but before we started refining our criteria and working weighting systems, we had a number of neighborhoods that were wealthier than what we were looking for in terms of neighborhoods in need. And if you didn't have a high poverty rate in that neighborhood and you just so happened to just not have a lot of street trees, it was giving artificial weight to communities that don't really need the support of this program.
At this point, the Shade Tree Commission has selected the first 10 neighborhoods to be part of Phase 1 of the strategy, and they will be announced soon. Planting is to begin this fall with the 10 neighborhoods, and communities will be able to be involved in every step of the process.
I think it's really great that the Shade Tree Commission has, kind of taken the initiative to think really strategically about where resources haven't been provided to neighborhoods in the past, and to try to think about how to redistribute that in a targeted way that isn't necessarily too much extra, but at least thinks about like our day-to-day operations and how to make sure that we're focusing on those neighborhoods that need the help the most.
Pittsburgh is a collection of 92 neighborhoods, and while the Shade Tree Commission can only take on 10 at a time in the equitable investment strategy, it is still an important first step in creating a more equitable and tree-canopied city. Achieving climate goals for the city is possible when definitive plans are created. In order to prepare Pittsburgh for the impacts of climate change, more strategic planning like this will be required. Otherwise, neighborhoods that are in desperate need of help and funding will be forgotten. Pittsburgh is full of history, and the people who live in these communities carry passion and culture. Let's not let climate change erase that.